Okay, so we have a mass of 10 kilograms, it's a box, and we apply a force of 50 square root 2 newtons at an angle of 45 degrees. And we find that the object accelerates to the right with an acceleration of 4 meters per second squared. And I want to find the coefficient of kinetic friction. The coefficient of kinetic friction, so all over again. Free body diagram, forces, force due to gravity, normal force, the force that I apply, friction, opposing. I think it's easy. Now, apparently I need to resolve the force into the components, right? So now I will have the x and y component instead of the force F, and I can find them. The x gets the cosine because now the x-axis is adjacent to the angle, while the y gets a sine. So I can find the forces of the components on the x and the y-axis. Now, where do I want to start? Well, I want to find the coefficient of friction, right? I want to find the coefficient of friction, meaning the coefficient of friction will be found if I find the normal force, if I find friction, and use our formulas. Where do I find the normal force from? Well, from the sum of forces on the y-axis. I should go here, actually. I should show it here. So where can I find the normal force? From the sum of forces on the y-axis. Where can I find find kinetic friction? From the sum of forces on the x-axis. Where should I start from? The x or the y? It does not matter. It's the same. So I will start from the sum of forces on the x-axis that I know are equal mass times acceleration because they give me the acceleration. That's an x. So what do I have here? I have this to be positive, this to be negative. So what do I have? Fx minus friction equals mass times acceleration. So this is 50 minus friction equals 10 times 4. That means that friction should be 10 newtons. Found it. Let's go now to the sum of forces on the y-axis. Well, the sum of forces on the y-axis should be 0. The forces on the y-axis are positive, positive, negative. So Fy plus normal minus Fg should equal 0. So Fy, which is 50, plus the normal force minus the force due to gravity, which is 100, equals 0. That means that the normal force should also be 50 newtons. How nice. How nice. And then, what do I know? I know that the coefficient of kinetic friction will be found if I divide friction over normal force. So 10 divided by 50, I get rid of the newtons. So what do I have? I find that the coefficient of kinetic friction is 0.2. Now, they don't need to give me values. I could find it without values, right? I could be able to find it without values. I don't want to do it now because it would be too long. Or should I? Let's see. I will